Welcome to today's video. We will give you a summary of one of the greatest books in the world of politics and leadership. It is the book, The Prince, that was written by the famous Italian philosopher Niccolo Machiavelli in the 16th century. In the preface to the book, The Prince, Niccolo Machiavelli gives an explanation of the purpose of his writing and the goals desired from him. Machiavelli considers rule and power to be fundamental concepts in politics, and so he decided to advise rulers and monarchs on how to maintain and strengthen power. Machiavelli begins by giving important advice to princes and rulers, namely the need for them to be able to adapt to constant political and social transformations. He points out that governance may be exposed to challenges and problems that require a quick and intelligent solution, and therefore the ruler must be able to make the right decisions at the right time. Machiavelli considers politics and governance both an art and a science, and advises rulers on the need to acquire knowledge and experience in this field. He promotes the importance of intelligence and wisdom in making political decisions, emphasizes that the ruler should be able to lead the people and achieve stability and prosperity. In addition, Machiavelli discusses in his introduction the concept of political honesty and its role in successful governance. It is considered that the ruler must be strong and confident in himself, act decisively and resolutely to achieve his political goals. However, he must also be aware of the needs of the people and act in their public interest. Machiavelli concludes his introduction by motivating the rulers to constant search for knowledge and learning, instability to their current achievements. He emphasizes that the political world is changeable and volatile, and therefore the ruler must be ready to evolve and adapt to new transformations. Machiavelli in the first chapter of his book, The Prince, completes his analysis of the relationship between the prince and power. He begins by explaining that power is the main element of governance, and the prince strives to obtain and retain this power. Machiavelli advises rulers to be strong and cruel when necessary. He suggests that the prince may have to use tricks and intrigues to achieve his political goals, even if it requires confusing and deceiving others. This type of ruling power is considered necessary to maintain power and face challenges. In addition, Machiavelli reminds that the prince should be polite and loved by the people, but at the same time he should be able to effectively and rationally use force. He explains that a prince who shows competence and justice wins the support of the people and ensures the stability of government. While Machiavelli considers the use of force and resourcefulness to be necessary at times, he warns against falling into greed and excess in the use of force. He points out that the prince should rule wisely and avoid the rude parade and the subsequent oppression of the people. A wise prince is one who knows how to control power and achieve his interests without going beyond reasonable limits. Machiavelli at the end of the first chapter comes to the conclusion that power is not static and permanent, that the prince should always be alert and ready for challenges and changes. A ready and adaptable prince is considered to be the one who will achieve success in governing and preserve his authority. In the second chapter, Niccolo Machiavelli discusses the role of militarism in ruling the prince and achieving political success. Machiavelli considers military force one of the basic tools that a prince should rely on to defend his authority and achieve his political goals. Machiavelli makes it clear that the prince should be sane and careful in the use of military force. It is advisable for the prince to have a strong and reliable army, which can protect the ruler and the state from external enemies and internal rebellion. However, Machiavelli warns against absolute dependence on the army and its frequent use. He emphasizes that the army should be a means of maintaining peace and stability, and not a means of aggression and invasion. Stresses the importance of using military force wisely and fairly, and not to abuse it for personal purposes or injustice and oppression. In addition, Machiavelli points out that the prince should be able to effectively lead and organize the army. It is recommended that the prince be familiar with the arts of war and its strategies, and be trained in military leadership. It is considered that a prince with courage and military acumen will earn the respect of soldiers and achieve victories in battles. In the third chapter of the book, Niccolo Machiavelli touches on the moral aspect of the prince's rule. Machiavelli begins by emphasizing that the prince should have a strong moral character and consider virtue and integrity as important aspects of his political personality. However, Machiavelli considers that the prince should be able to adapt to the harsh political situation and the constant challenges he faces. He points out that traditional morality may not always be compatible with difficult political realities, and that the prince may sometimes have to make difficult and undesirable decisions. Accordingly, Machiavelli recommends the prince to be careful in applying traditional manners, to be able to use tricks and intrigues if the need arises. He considers that in some cases the end justifies the means, and the prince should have flexibility and the ability to make difficult decisions in favor of the state and maintain power. However, Machiavelli warns the prince not to fall into corruption and injustice. He emphasizes the importance of the prince being moderate in the use of force and avoiding injustice and subsequent repression. He considers that it is the wise prince who combines political resourcefulness and moral integrity, and that he must keep the interest of the state and the people at the heart of his decisions and actions. The fourth chapter, in which Niccolo Machiavelli dealt with the topic of public actions that a prince should follow to achieve the success of his reign and strengthen his authority. Machiavelli begins by explaining that the behavior of the prince should be characterized by caution, intelligence in dealing with people and assessing political situations. Machiavelli advises the prince to be neutral and maintain a balance in international relations. He emphasizes the importance of not being drawn to any side in international conflicts and the prince being a skilled diplomat who knows how to manage relations with other countries skillfully and carefully. With regard to public actions, Machiavelli considers that the prince should rely on wisdom and experience in making the right decisions. The prince recommends seeking advice and consultation from influential people and experts in various fields, but also emphasizes that the final decision should be in the hands of the prince and that he should take full responsibility for it. Moreover, Machiavelli emphasizes the importance of a strong appearance and self-confidence in the prince. The prince must have the ability to inspire trust and respect on the part of the people and society, show confidence and strength to assert his authority and ability to protect public interests. The fifth chapter, in which Machiavelli talks about the importance of personal relationships in the rule of the prince and their impact on political stability. Machiavelli emphasizes that the prince should be smart in managing relations with political figures, influential individuals. Machiavelli advises the prince to treat people wisely and intelligently, to know how to win support and loyalty to his political goals. He emphasizes the importance of building a wide network of good relations and strong alliances, as the emir can take advantage of these relations to strengthen his authority and achieve his political interests. However, Machiavelli warns the prince not to be too close in trusting others and advises him to remain careful and not reveal all his cards and thoughts. Machiavelli promotes wisdom in personal choices and the use of reliable people who are able to achieve the desired goals. Machiavelli also points out the importance of the effective use of intrigues and tricks in the management of personal relationships. He considers that the prince should be smart to detect the intentions of others and use tricks to protect his interests and achieve his political goals. In the sixth chapter, Niccolo Machiavelli touches on the necessity of effective control over the people as an essential part of the prince's rule. Machiavelli emphasizes that the prince must be strong and dominant over his people to ensure the stability of the state and maintain power. Machiavelli advises the prince to use the necessary political tools and tactics to gain the support and loyalty of the people. He stresses the importance of establishing a close relationship with the people and achieving effective communication with them. It is considered that a prince who understands the needs of the people and works to meet them will have strong support and internal stability. However, Machiavelli considers that the prince should be prudent and careful in dealing with the people. He emphasizes the importance of maintaining the balance of power, as the emir must be strong enough to control the people and prevent any uprising or challenge to power, and at the same time he must maintain that power without reaching authoritarianism.